With AJ Styles wanting to face Edge at WrestleMania and restrictions on Mickie James' Royal Rumble appearance revealed, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for February 8th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. With Goldberg set to take on Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia, Bully Ray said on Busted Open Radio that the WCW legend should beat Reigns at the event. I honestly believe this is the perfect opportunity for WWE to stir a lot up and throw a huge monkey wrench into it. Personally, I would have Goldberg come back and beat Roman in Saudi, and immediately do a rematch on SmackDown the following Friday night and put it back on Roman. This would get genuine reactions and actually get people talking. It would be different, and would be the exact opposite of what it is right now, which is extremely predictable. Have Goldberg beat Roman on Saturday, and on the 25th at SmackDown put the championship right back on him. That's 6 days of people talking about Goldberg as the new champion. Shake it up a little bit. Bully Ray would also criticize the company for not creating new stars. And here's your big picture problem. Until you start developing stars with the same name value, marquee value, drawing power as Goldberg, they will always resort to calling out guys like Goldberg. Side note, I like Bill. Bill's a really good guy. I think they keep calling on him because Vince McMahon likes him. Bill is an older star who keeps himself in great shape, always does what he has to do. That's it. Who are you going to put in the spot? Because WWE just has not built anyone to be on that level. Therein lies the problem. The Hardy Boys are going to be reunited for in-ring competition in March as fans wonder if we'll see Jeff in AEW. On his podcast, Matt Hardy brought up the comparisons made between his brother and Darby Allin, with him explaining why Allin reminds him of Jeff. I very much do, because when it comes to Darby Allin, he doesn't just remind me of Jeff in the ring, as far as being fearless and a guy who takes all of these insane bumps. And he seems to continue to get up and keep going. He's almost Teflon. You can't break this guy. You can't put an end to this guy. He doesn't get hurt. On top of that factor, he also reminds me of Jeff outside the ring, because he just really marches to the beat of his own drum. I think if you like Darby, he's cool with that. If you don't like Darby, he's cool with that. He really just doesn't give a damn. He's a very carefree guy, and he pretty much lives in his own world, and he's not bothered by outside influences, and that reminds me so much of my brother. While fans continue to speculate on AEW's next big signing, Dave Meltzer would point out on Wrestling Observer Radio that a New Japan star could be heading to the promotion. The other name that I have heard not a bunch, but a little bit today is Jay White. So I don't know that he's coming in or not, but that was an interesting name to hear. Dropping AEW's name in every promo gets him buzzed to do it. He's been working a lot on Impact, so whatever. There's no reason that he can't do both. The nature of the business today, it's not like there's exclusivity or anything. New Japan works with both companies, so that's another interesting name. The thing is that he cannot sign a contract, so if the guy coming on Wednesday is signing an exclusive AEW contract, it can't be him, but I have heard his name. With her returning to WWE to be a part of the Women's Royal Rumble, Melina would have a moment where she faced off against Sasha Banks. Eventually, Banks would eliminate her, as Melina recently took to Instagram to make it clear that she wants a match against the boss. Thank you for all the love and edits for a match versus Sasha Banks. I love them. Last year, Impact and NWA gave me two great matches that I will always cherish. One with Deonna Purrazzo and the other with Camille. Both gave me so much joy. It also proved I can still get in there with the best. So, that night at the Rumble, I was ready to go. I wish that moment with Sasha was a singles match. To think if we were able to get a reaction like we did that night without wrestling, can you imagine what we could do if we actually wrestled? I can wish for a match with you with all my heart, and it may never happen, but whether it was 5 seconds, 60 seconds, or 20 minutes in the ring with you, Sasha, I'm grateful for that magic moment at the Rumble. No matter how short, I will forever keep that in my heart. During her last run in WWE, Ronda Rousey would become a de facto villain on screen thanks to the negative reception from fans. Talking about this during a live stream on Facebook, Rousey admitted it's tough to not take these reactions personally. It's hard not to take it, trash talk, personally from the fans because I don't go out there as, I do go out there as a character, but I'm actually Ronda Rousey, so I don't play Ronda Rousey on TV. So sometimes I take it personally from the fans, not so much from the wrestlers. The fans, I do. It's such pressure when I'm the last on the show because I feel like it's my responsibility to retain the ratings and delivery, you know? I don't want people to be disappointed. Despite fans having a lot of harsh words for this new iteration of NXT, Liv Morgan praised the brand for their developing women's division. As she said to TV Insider, "I think they are doing a great job at NXT. I feel they are creating stars. The same core group of girls is really trying to grow, trying to let everyone shine and showcase everyone to see what they can do. It's so important to give opportunities to other people. I love Cora, I love Amari. Tiffany is funny. I think she is going to be great. She is clearly athletic, but so new. I think with more experience, she is going to be great. I love Toxic Attraction, Indy. There are so many girls who are going to be amazing. Eventually, when they come to Raw and SmackDown, they will be even more amazing." Morgan would also note that she is determined to become a champion in WWE. "I want to be the champion however I get there. This is my be-all end-all for 2022. That's what I'm working towards. Maybe also a guest spot on Euphoria. I want my candles to stay in business, but my candles, just being happy and learning and staying positive and trying to navigate through this crazy thing we call life. Just enjoy everything we can. I just want to be present. Enjoy the moment while I have it." Under the tutelage of Shawn Michaels, Kyle O'Reilly learned a lot from his time on NXT. With him now in AEW, O'Reilly revealed on the company's Unrestricted podcast what HBK taught him. "I learned a lot about structuring a main event match. There's that age-old adage in pro wrestling, listen to the people, listen to the people. I never really got what that meant. I'm listening to them. They're cheering, they're quieting down, they're cheering. Shawn really taught us that instead of going up and down with the crowd reaction, trying to keep it at a level. So, on a double down, just don't move until they start to die, and then you can move and you bring them back up. Little things like that you don't really think of, and it's really hard to learn on your own until someone explains that to you, and then a light bulb goes off and it helps take your game to the next level. I feel like my time there made me so much more polished and complete as a performer. I'm so grateful for my time there, the 4.5 years in that system, working with the Shawn Michaels, the William Regals, and the Triple H's. It really made me a much more polished and accomplished performer." While she was able to appear at the Royal Rumble as the Impact Knockouts champion, Mickie James apparently had a lot of restrictions on her recent WWE appearance. With Will Washington noting on the Fightful Rhapsody podcast, "I talked to someone in WWE about the Mickie stuff, and I was like, it was really cool that they did all that. But they were like, yeah, but there were caveats to literally everything that we had to do with Mickie James. The first thing was, we were allowed to say Impact, but at no point were we allowed to say Impact Wrestling. It was a really important distinction. Impact Wrestling cannot be said. Impact Wrestling cannot be tagged on social media. You were not to say Impact Wrestling, solely Impact. The name of the company is Impact Wrestling, but it's one of those, we don't say wrestling, you don't say wrestling, this company is not called Impact Wrestling. The other thing was, we were told we do not use the term Knockouts. We do not use the term World, even though the belt is called the Impact Knockouts World Championship. We do not use either of those words, and we were specifically on to refer to this belt as the Impact Women's Championship, despite the fact that that is not what it is called. So it wasn't just free range that Impact gets this publicity, but that there was this specific nomenclature used. There is a perception that WWE cannot create new stars, as this is amplified by the return of Goldberg and having the likes of Lesnar and Rousey win the Rumble matches this year. Talking about this on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez touched on WWE's missteps when it comes to building new stars. Damian Priest, they didn't make a big deal of this, but he was undefeated for a full year. Now he's lost 4 straight matches. This is what happens when they find out you're undefeated, I guess. Doing this guy no favors. But, I mean, the story of the show show and every show. It's like, how many times have you told me this, Dave? Oh, they know they need to make young stars. Let's beat Damian Priest with AJ Styles. He's new. No one knows he's 39. What about Austin Theory losing to Kevin Owens? What about Cora Jade getting squashed by Raquel Gonzalez last week? I mean, we had New Day beating Los Lotharios. Have we had one young person in this company get a win anytime recently? After making the move to the promotion in 2019, Chris Jericho has become one of the biggest stars in AEW. Speaking to PopCulture.com, Jericho said that AEW is at the top of the mountain when it comes to the best wrestling promotions. Well, in my opinion, what is the top wrestling promotion? To me, I think we already are, as far as in-ring product and entertaining shows, storylines, characters, etc. If you're looking at like, will AEW overtake WWE as the wrestling brand in North America? I don't know. All we're worried about is continuing to grow our fan base, which we are. Grow and continue to improve and create amazing stories, which we do. On Out of Character with Ryan Satin, AJ Styles once again brought up having a match against Edge where he said, "Everybody has in mind the same guy that I do. We have the same idea. What would happen? That's not up to us. So we'll do what's asked of us. We just hope we get the opportunity before both of us retire." AJ would also mention fans wanting him to hate pro wrestlers that are in different companies, as Styles made it clear. I mean, I get it because they don't like WWE or they don't like the other competitors. They want it to be like that. The truth is, my best friend's working, AEW or Impact Wrestling. I genuinely love the guys, so we want to see them succeed. We want them to do well. We both know that competition is good for everyone, so we want to see everyone succeed. Even as a performer, you should want to kick, whoever is in your top slot's butt, because that reflects on you. You're doing well if you're doing that. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It makes everybody turn your game up a little bit more. Freaking have a little bit more fun. With Shane McMahon being released from WWE, WrestleMania plans are up in the air as the company is looking for a replacement according to WrestleVotes. Source states the spot Shane McMahon was going to have on the WrestleMania card was to be positioned near the top. Therefore, WWE now needs a new major attraction matchup outside of the titles. This goes without saying, but the WrestleMania card is still in complete flux. It's quite amazing. After suffering a concussion during his return to Impact, news reports came out that Charlie Haas had passed away. Now, Haas has responded to this while speaking to Wrestling Inc. Someone reported that I died, so that helped the Charlie Haas is not dead t-shirt sales. That was unfortunate because the story about that, it was like, Charlie Haas fatally killed. And my mom saw that, my ex-wife saw that, my kids saw it, people like Shelton. They're trying to get a hold of me. I didn't die. It was unfortunate, but I am good. I'm here. It is weird. I felt bad. It was hard on my family when they read that, and they couldn't get a hold of me, especially after my brother dying. That's something. My mom doesn't want another son dead. It was unfortunate, but I am here, man, which is good. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.